y'all. So in advance, I'm going to apologize for this one. If you are someone who's afraid of heights, afraid of flying, afraid of planes, afraid of trusting other people with your life in their hands, this story might not be for you. Yeah. And it's way worse than our last story with the deranged passenger on the flight trying to open emergency doors. Oh, it is so much worse than that. So much worse. If you got plane issues, I suggest you look away because I'm going to tell you the story first. And then I'm going to tell you the reason why. And oh my God, it's a doozy.
We turn now to the other news this Monday night and to the terrifying moments on board a passenger jet flying from outside Seattle to San Francisco when an off-duty pilot sitting in the cockpit jump seat allegedly tried to shut down the engines mid-flight with 83 people on board, including passengers, infants on their parents' laps. Authorities say the on-duty cockpit and cabin crew subdued the man, handcuffing him to a seat in the cabin. The plane then diverting to Portland, police waiting on the tarmac, taking him into custody. Tonight, Joseph Emerson now facing 83 counts of attempted murder.
As you should.
Tonight here, you will hear the conversation between the cockpit and air traffic control as this all unfolded. ABC's Gio Benitez covers aviation and this investigation tonight.
Tonight, the FBI is investigating after an off-duty pilot allegedly tried to crash a passenger plane. Alaska Airlines Flight 2059 left Everett, Washington, bound for San Francisco at 5:23 p.m. Sunday, packed full with 80 passengers, including multiple infants on laps. And 44-year-old Joseph Emerson, an off-duty pilot with Alaska Airlines who was hitching a ride, seated in a jump seat inside the cockpit. Soon after takeoff, he allegedly tried to cut the plane.
So, get this straight. He didn't pay for a flight. He gets to, this is a common practice, okay? He gets to hitch a ride. As a pilot, you know you get to hitch a ride in the cockpit itself, right? There's like this third seat so you're off duty, but there's like a third seat and you can hitch a ride as a pilot in that third seat free, no problem, okay? And he knew that that's what he was going to be doing to fly from one state to the other, okay? It's going to come out later that he knew that when he landed, he was going to be working. Okay. He also knew, as all of the staff did, right, that on top of the 80 passengers, that there were, of course, children of those passengers, and there were also infants on laps. Yeah. Okay. And what did he do? What did Joseph Emerson, 44, do while hitching this ride from A to B?
Soon after takeoff, he allegedly tried to cut the plane's engines by pulling the fire extinguisher handles on the engines called a T-handle.
The T-handle, which is what this individual tried to pull on each engine, actually turns the engine off and prepares it for a fire extinguisher. The problem is, at high altitude, you can get the engines restarted. At low altitude, there could be a fatal result.
The crew able to overpower Emerson and get him out of that cockpit, handcuffing him to a seat in the rear of the cabin.
We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit. Doesn't sound like he's causing any issue in the back right now. I think he's subdued.
I was panicked. I was alone in the back, and everyone was shifting around, trying to figure out what was happening.
The pilots diverting to Portland, where Emerson was taken into custody.
After we did land and the gentleman was escorted off, the flight attendant got back on the speaker and said, plain and simple, he had a mental breakdown.
Tonight, the airline and the FAA say the incident is not related to current events. And David, right now, investigators are scouring his social media. They want to know everything about his past to see what the motive could be. Meanwhile, he will be in court tomorrow, again, facing 83 counts of attempted murder.
All right, y'all. So, of course, now Joseph Emerson, right, the alleged killer pilot, has had his day in court, at least his first appearance, whatever, right? But now we're getting a little bit more of the story. Probably from his defense, but still, we're getting a little bit more of the story. Now, Is there something to y'all? Is there something that would make this acceptable to you? Okay, I want you to pause right now and think about that before you even continue on. I want you to pause right now and think to yourself, is there something that could make this acceptable where I would not want them to throw him under the jail for life, where I wouldn't want him to lose his pilot's license, where I wouldn't want him to, be penalized? Maybe some help, but not penalized, right? Think about that to yourself. I'm going to tell y'all, I know the answer. Well, at least the answer he gave. And there's no excuse. This was no excuse to me, and I think they still need to throw him up under that jail. Now, again, I might be biased because I'm terrified of planes and plummeting out of the sky in a plane and putting my life in the hands of some douchebag pilot who apparently doesn't mind throwing my life away on a whim based on his terrible decisions. And y'all will see in a moment that all of this largely trying to blame it on other things and other factors. Trying to make himself a victim too. But I'm just not buying it. I'm sorry. Let's take a listen though to what we now know.
We turn now to the pilot who authorities say tried to crash a passenger plane over the U.S. Tonight, new details of the life and death struggle inside that cockpit and what that pilot now says he took before that flight. He's now charged with 83 counts of attempted murder. Here's Gio Benitez.
Tonight, Alaska Airlines pilot Joseph David Emerson looking emotional, appearing before a judge late today to face attempted murder charges for trying to crash a passenger jet.
Morning, enter a not guilty plea on all counts.
As we learned, he allegedly told investigators he had taken psychedelic mushrooms for the first time some 48 hours before the incident. And thought he was having a nervous breakdown after going without sleep for 40 hours. Authorities say Emerson was off.
Point one, not gonna lie. I have never done any of these illegal drugs, right? So all I can do is tell you from observation what I've seen other people do and the effects it had on them, right? Or what they've told me. So for example, I know people who have tried cocaine and that has kept them awake for days straight, right? And other medications, well, not medications, but drugs, illegal substances like that, right? That are like speed to your system, right? So they make you like you're on hyperdrive, meth, whatever, right? They make you not sleep for an extended period of time. I've never heard that about hallucinogenics, specifically this one. I've never heard that shrooms makes people stay awake for 40 hours straight. I've never heard that shroom stays in your system for 40 hours straight. I've never heard that shrooms causes breakdowns in people 48 hours later after taking them. I mean, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. I'm admitting right now in this moment, I might be wrong. So y'all let me know if you think I'm wrong. Because I might be wrong. I don't know. But to me, doesn't pass a sniff test. Just doesn't. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. It doesn't.
Duty, hitching a ride in the cockpit's jump seat Sunday. The on-duty pilots telling police Emerson engaged in casual conversation. But then mid-flight, he threw his headset across the cockpit and announced, "I am not okay." Then reaching up and grabbing the red fire handles and pulling them down. A pilot physically engaged with Emerson for 25 to 30 seconds. Had Emerson pulled the handles all the way down, the plane would have turned into a glider within seconds. Emerson calming down and exiting the cockpit, allegedly telling a flight attendant, "You need to cuff me right now or it's going to be bad." Emerson, a father with an unblemished flying history, telling police he struggled with depression and a friend recently passed away. And it was his first time taking mushrooms. And David Emerson is also facing a federal charge of interfering with a flight crew, along with those 83 counts of attempted murder.
Good.
Emerson was reportedly heard saying, "I'm not right," before the incident. He was scheduled to fly a 737 when he landed in San Francisco.
The pilots, the captain, the first officer, that's their airplane. They are responsible for every life aboard. And believe me, they're going to act instantaneously if they see a threat. And that's obviously what happened here.
The suspect, a father, neighbors calling him friendly, saying they could never imagine something like this.
I can.
Yeah, he's very understanding and of other people. We just can't imagine him doing anything that would hurt anyone.
I'm not gonna lie, okay? The coverage is already letting you know how they're trying to paint this story. He's a beloved father. He's a victim. We should love him. Oh, poor guy. No. Under the jail. Okay? You can't this is his first time ever doing shrooms at 44. Yeah, but it wasn't his first time on planet Earth. Nor is he child or childlike. So there's no excuse for him to think, hey, you know what? I should take hallucinogenics. I'm positive it was not 2 days before, okay? I should take hallucinogenics the day before I'm going to fly a flight. Because that's what he was doing, right? He was hitching a ride from Alaska to California or San Francisco it was California, to fly, like to do his job. Yeah. No, sir. Sir, you don't get, hey, I have an unblemished record. Really? Everyone has an unblemished record until the first time they're caught doing a crime, until the first time they do something heinous. So I'm not really sure why it is that this loving father and unblemished record pilot is getting painted like he's an innocent victim here, like he's a saint. But if he had his way, him and everyone on that flight would be dead. At the very least, a lot of people would be dead and injured, right? I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think, though. Are they trying to twist the story from jump? Because that's what it seems like to me. Hey, is his excuse valid? Can depression make you or maybe being 40 hours not sleeping, or maybe being on shrooms, or, gosh, he has so many excuses all at once. Or maybe your friend died a little while ago, right? Could all of those factors together or individually make someone walk onto a flight, be perfectly normal, talk to everyone normally, do everything normally, and then suddenly lose their minds out of the blue? I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think, though. I don't know. I might be wrong.